Hey guys, I'm Morthadon and we are back for Mob Psycho Season 3, Episode 1. So, I did just finish watching Season 2 like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I didn't really plan for it, but I ended up watching, as a Patreon show, I ended up watching Mob Psycho Season 2, and then when it finished, I realized that Season 3 was coming, so I put off any more Patreon shows for a few weeks, and it did some other quick movies and stuff like that rather than doing a whole nother show and waited for season 3 to come out. So here we are. So as I said, season 2, if you're watching this episode on YouTube right now, that means all of season 2 is also on YouTube. And that also means that the rest of season 3 is all up on my Patreon. So I'm watching this as it releases and releasing it to my Patreon, but because of the nature of my Patreon shows, how I watch the entire show before I release it onto YouTube, this won't be on YouTube for quite a bit. So you'll be seeing it way later, and if you're watching from YouTube rather than being a patron. But anyway, also, for those of you who may be new to my channel, for this first episode, I just want to, well, I'll only mention it in this first episode, but the way I do my reactions is I put a timer in the corner. You guys have to sync up, so however you originally watched the episode, you pull up the episode, you have my video up next to it on like the same monitor. You can use different monitors, however you have your setup that you watch stuff. Can even use different devices or whatever. I'll do a countdown. You guys start the episode as soon as I say now, and we watch the whole thing together. There will be like 15 seconds in the corner of footage just to help you guys sync up of the very beginning. Other than that, there won't be anything else. So I just like to let you guys know ahead of time, so that way if you're new to the channel and you're like, where's the footage? This is bullshit. I just sat through you talking for a few minutes to not have any footage. I try to let you know before I start talking about the show and everything, so that way if you're not a fan of that format, you can leave if you want. No harm done. But anyways, as for Mob Psycho, I love this show. Last season we defeated Claw, and so the big question I have is, now what? What's the what's the next threat? And the crazy thing is if this season follows the same format as the other seasons, we may not even know until like over halfway through the season, because they tend to like to do kind of like the episodic thing for the first like 6 or 7 episodes, and then they start bringing in like a little story arc for the very end. So but I very much like the episodic episodes. Those are a lot of fun, just them going around defeating different spirits and different stuff like that. I will say I watched season 2 in dub. I watched season 1 in sub. But what happened was I watched season 1. There's no reaction to season 1 because I watched it way before I started doing reactions. And then season 2 I did in dub because I had seen a reaction of season 1 in dub, and I really liked Reagan's voice actor. I felt like the English was pretty good. I'm usually not a big like, oh, I only do sub, you know, like if one's good, the other one can be good too, right? So that's the way I see it. But I am back to sub for this one because I'm watching it as it releases, and I have no idea when the dub is coming out. So, I mean, maybe it already is out, but either way, I'm just going to do sub this time. So no big deal. Just figured I'd let you guys know that. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what the season's going to be all about. I say we've done enough talking. Let's just jump in and see if we find out anything this episode, or just enjoy our characters. Because we now have Sarazawa on the team too, I believe. So he's an awesome character as well, and I love it. So let's get started, shall we? All right, we're going to start here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Yes. Science has yet to explain. Implying that maybe science could explain it. This is the same intro from like season 1, I think, right? Or at least very similar. I don't think we got that at all in season 2. Oh my god. New opening. Of course, new opening. I just wasn't thinking about it. It's already crazy in typical Mob Psycho fashion. Ooh. Ugh. The broccoli. I like the song so far. It's not as, like, singable as the last couple were. But I like the song. Ugh, those eyes are creepy. I have no idea what I'm looking at either. Wow. The opening didn't really give anything away either. Like, at least, I don't know what to make of what I saw. Aw, that is awesome. I love it. Ah, career path. Oh no. He must train better his mind. Rank 4. Hmm. Oh no, 7%? Already? That's pretty low, though. Usually he jumps straight to like 20% when shit happens. I feel like, anyway. But it could be full-time! Hmm. Uh. Yes, very unique powers. Oh, Mom. Sarazawa! Yes. Ugh. Why don't you just get rid of it then? I kind of want to go back and read that whole article. Yeah, oh no. Oh shit. Oh, there's a cafe above them. Nice. Can he sense? Okay, he can too. You told me to stand and watch. Of course. Oh, Reagan. Always the con man. Oh shit. Might be dangerous to do in the office, depending on how bad it is. Did that do it? Uh-oh. Is he getting glued back on? Tuna and mayo. Rice grain Big Bang. Rocked to his core. Oh my god, that was great. Oh. Hmm. Fifth. They're in different grades though, right? I guess it said it was. I think it said ranked by grade, right? Right underneath it. It's good to think about, but also still gotta remember it's flexible what you pick too. He forgot about his ambition to become God. Oh. 340. Oh no. Rank 2. 351. Who's the very last then? I wonder. The broccoli is still there. Of course, she wants to be a reporter. I hope I didn't miss 352 already. I might have. I'll be honest, I didn't look at every single number. That image of Mob. Divine Tree. Just go lead your religious group. Yeah. Psycho helmet. Photographer, okay. 60. She also mentioned journalists. That's what I figured she'd do, something like that. But photography works too. She's... Go eat it! I wonder if it's edible. Or if you'd get, like, sick because it, like... I guess it was gross when he, like, forced seeds to grow before, right? Made, like, sweet tomatoes or something like that. Is that what they were called? Yeah, whatever. Oh. Oh, another client, okay. Ugh. I used to be bad with trash, but never this bad. But I used to just let it, like, stockpile up on my desk until I'm, like, stockpiling things even higher. But not anymore. I basically pick it up. Not instantly, but... I think this guy's blaming... Oh no. I feel that. My legacy. What does this shirt mean? Umi no, yeah! He had no hair back then. He's just gonna get out of here. This guy's a chain smoker. Holy shit. In his house, too. I guess it's already a mess. This guy's just having a midlife crisis. Such serious angles. Didn't you just say everything in that room is your legacy? Oh. Oh god. Gross. It's like the lips of the, Oh no. They're gonna secondhand smoke everyone to death. The lips are kind of something from the opening, right? I wonder if this is like... I don't want to like meta-analyze too much because of the opening, but if this is like a start to something bigger. Jeez. Oh my god. Hydrogen water mist. Hmm. So it wasn't that he was possessed by a spirit, it was that his, like, I guess, living wrath, as they said, created a spirit? Dealt with, though. Oh my god. They obliterated the roof. Okay, he's not mad about the roof. Just... What do you tell the insurance company? What is that? Weekly Shonen. Oh. 'Mob, you have even more time. Hmm. The fear of making a mistake. %. Hmm. Traveler isn't quite a career path, though, right? Uh-oh. Makes sense. Yeah. Good, good Reagan. Good Reagan, good boy. Yeah. But then I met you. Oh, he didn't say it. Aw. I love these two so much. I can't believe that Reagan spraying that spray actually worked. Awesome. Is he coming back? Nice. Oh. Uh-oh. What is this? Uh-oh. Is Dimple gonna possess the... Uh-oh. No preview. I don't want no preview. Alrighty, guys. That is it for episode 1. Yeah. That was a lot of fun. I really like that episode. There's a lot of great little moments, and I like the theme of, you know, because the story has always been about, you know, the spirits and the consultation office doing its thing, and whatever ends up happening with Claw, which happened in season 1 and 2 and everything. But like, it's also been about I almost said Reagan. It's also been about Mob growing up too. It's not just about the psychic stuff that goes on in the show. It's a lot of it is Mob trying to, you know, grow into his own and everything, and I'm glad we're continuing with that theme too. So we had Mob having his career path form, where he had to figure out at least a general idea of what he might want to do. Like, I mean, like the teacher said, just because you pick something doesn't mean it's what you have to do, and just because you can't think of anything doesn't mean you're screwed, right? It's just to give you an idea of what do you want to be when you grow up, and maybe you can start heading towards, especially in Japan, because they have a lot of schools that specialize in different things, and you get to pick the high school that you go to, and it's like, I at least that's my experience from watching anime. I don't know if it's really like that. I assume it is, right? But yeah, at least in these worlds, you know, like kind of like how shoot, I can't remember her name. The girl he likes. Sorry, I don't know why I can't remember her name, but she wants to go to this like fancier school that has ties to like a British school, so that way she might have the chance to study overseas and stuff like that. Whereas you know, I watch other shows, like the first thing that comes to mind is Your Lie in April, where he was choosing to like go to a more music focused school kind of thing, and I'm sure there's ones that are more focused on like sports and different things, and they have their own like they usually generally work as a regular school, I think, but then they also have these like specialties where it might look better if you go there and you get like a better education on like the the specific paths or whatever. Like I said, that's all just me assuming from watching anime. I don't know exactly how it really works, but so it can very much help you out if you do have an idea of what you want to go for, and because you're still just getting a high school degree, right? So I imagine it's one of those things where even if you go to a school that specializes in what you wanted to do, but you find out that that's not what you want to do, I'm sure you can just still use that high school diploma to get any other job. It just might not be that your education through high school is as effective, right? But we had Mob go from 7% up to 18% after dealing with the guy who had all the trash and everything. And, like, I don't even know if it was trash or if it was, like, items he kept that were just, like, bagged up. But either way, that guy was kind of going through that midlife crisis-ish kind of thing where he's that age, everything he got is from his parents, he doesn't really have much stuff of his own, and he feels like he wasted a lot of his life and everything, and him just rambling about that really affected Sarazawa and Mob and everything. And seemingly I don't know if it's the first time we've had it, but like it seems like that spirit was created from that guy's own despair. So I wonder, rather than it being someone who died who went like angry and stuff like that, I wonder if we're also going to be dealing with kind of like, in a way, it's kind of like Jujutsu Kaisen, where like, except that's not usually a single person's emotions in Jujutsu Kaisen. It's like a culmination of negative feelings, and it's stronger in certain areas where there's like higher quantities of negative feelings kind of thing. But there's some other shows that create, spiritual entities based on negative emotions and stuff like that too. So it's crazy that this one man was able to do that. And like I said, there's like a bunch of those lips in the opening, so I wonder if that's just a reference to this episode, or if maybe it's gonna be that there's something bigger going on. Like maybe there's a spirit out there that's allowing people's anger to become spirits, kind of thing. But I don't know. It's very interesting. We'll have to wait and see. It very much could just be a one-off. That's just me extrapolating based off the opening. The opening was great, by the way. Speaking of that, the visuals might almost be one of the craziest we've seen. I mean, maybe that glossing over that with like first time viewing eyes kind of thing, but like at least last opening had like the craziness of like all the characters doing the wave and everything and all that, but it also had some moments where we had like the claw fighting and everything. So but I don't really recognize, at least from what I can tell in the opening, I don't recognize any kind of like fighting or implications on like battles that might come up or anything like that. So it's which I'm glad. I don't like when I'm like, oh yes, this that happened in the opening. I'd rather experience the story and everything as they want to show it in the show, and keep the opening just random bullshit like we saw. But it's also possible that once we see the random bullshit, we'll be like, oh, that's what it means in the opening. And those are also good openings too, is when you can like see it in the show and then you're like, oh, so this is what it means in the opening. So, but I like the song. Like I said, it wasn't like as singable as the last two, because I mean the first one was just like counting, so you could kind of like follow along. Granted, it did change the counting into like different languages and everything, but at least some parts of it you could like really like sing along to it, right? But then there's the last one, which had a lot of English parts and everything, and it felt like it was one that you could really like follow along and sing along to. But I really like the song for this one, for just like the sake of a song and everything. So but yeah, pretty good. Now, there were a couple things I wanted to go back to. And I like how Mob also had this fear of making a mistake, because you know, grown-ups always talk about how, like, talking to Serizawa, how, like, not even half his life has gone by, and these, like, the mistakes you might have made in the past don't matter as much now. You just take those and improve upon what you've been doing, so that way, you know, 30 years from now, you're proud of what you've done in the last 30 years, rather than feeling like you feel now from the previous 30 years. I probably did a really bad job of explaining that, but I like that moment, but I think that also hit Mob a little bit of being like, oh, well, Serizawa here regrets all this time, these mistakes that he's made and everything. Like, I haven't really made one of those big mistakes yet, so I'm kind of scared to do that. And all these adults always talk about, like, you know, the mistakes they make as kids, and then you have a kid here being scared, like, hearing that, and it was just, like, a really interesting dynamic with having Mob hanging out with these adults and everything, so, let's see, one of the things I wanted to see was the flyer. I think I just saw it. So, executing the exorcism. We'll do our best to reduce the spirit possessing you. Option A, trial course, a mere 2,000 yen, tax excluded. Option B, serious course, a mere 5,000 yen, tax excluded. Recommended. Option C, all-out course, a mere 12,000 yen. Refer us to a friend now, get an extra 5% reduction. Also get an add-on exorcism for 20% off. Alright. I just, like, I don't know why. I wasn't able to read all of it in time, so I figured I'd go back to it and read the whole flyer. God, I guess I didn't really talk about that great moment where he just, like, applied rice to the thing and reattached it. Does that actually work? Like, is rice, like, if you mash rice up, is it, like, kind of sticky? Is that what it is? Honestly, I don't really eat rice at all. So I don't really know I haven't had rice in a very long time, so I don't really know the texture of it to know if it can work that way. I mean, I imagine maybe it does. It's kind of interesting, though. But we also have this stuff with Dimple of him earlier in the episode, remembering that he wanted to become God, and he kind of, like, forgot about that. And then at the end of this episode, we had him be like, alright, I guess it's about time I get started, or whatever. So, like, is it possible that Dimple becomes a antagonist for this whole season? Like, does he go a bit bad, and we either have to take care of him, or we have to try to pull him back, like, weaken him back down and bring him back to our side, kind of thing? But then, like, if he does go out of control again, is it good to bring him back to our side and just give him time to power up and everything again? I don't know. But yeah. Freaking psycho helmet religion. Doop doop doop. I thought we were going to be going into a storyline where Mob wants to improve his grades to go to the same high school as the girl he likes, but it didn't seem we went that route. Kind of like how he wanted to try to impress her by, like, last season by doing better in the marathon, but it didn't end up going that way either. But yeah. There was one other thing, right? Oh yeah, when Mob went back to the school, I think I did miss what Mob wrote down as him wanting to do. I think I was either too busy talking or writing something down. Something distracted me. I don't know what it was. Where? Oh, here we go. Did I go past it? I think I went past it. So he's 18% explosion. We cut to the school. By the way, the art for the school is, like, they've always had kind of, like, more, like, the backgrounds look a lot like drawings, but I didn't realize how, like, almost, like, they're usually, like, pretty, like, decently detailed, I feel like, anyway, but the school is, like, kind of childish in the look. Like, if you go to, like, around 20 minutes and 16 seconds when it's showing the school, the image of it, like, I feel like some of the lines are even, like, kind of slanted where they shouldn't be, and I don't know, it's just, like, it almost looks like a kid drew it. It's just kind of interesting. So you're continuing to choose, or so you're choosing to continue on to high school for now. Okay, is that all we get to see? Oh, in the end, I just couldn't think of anything. Okay. Alright, so it wasn't... I thought he just wrote down, like, some random shit, and I just missed it, but no, he couldn't really think of anything, so for now, he's just moving on to... And it was interesting that he mentioned he has to get his grades up if he wants to go to a public school. So does that mean that people that have bad grades go to a private school in Japan, kind of thing? I'm just trying to think of, like, the alternative, right? Because, like, if, like, in the US, what happens is, like, the public school's kind of like the bottom of the barrel. Like, they pretty much take anyone, unless it's like a fancier, like, maybe there's fancier public schools. That's very possible. But then there's also private schools, which are the ones where you need to have decent grades and be accepted to get into, kind of thing. But it seemed here, like he was saying, like, if you're shooting for a public school, you need to get, like, these grades up and these grades up, like, you wouldn't be accepted. So I guess my question is what happens if you're not accepted to a public school? If your grades aren't high enough, like, what kind of school do you go to? My only alternative thought was private school, but maybe there's, like, maybe that's also not the right word. Maybe there's another word for the people that do, like, really bad in school. But but yeah, he also talked about being a traveler. Now, I don't know if that was a, like, poor translation to English in the subs, but, like, how do you make a career out of being a traveler, I guess, is just, like, very vague, I feel like. And it almost seemed like when the teacher said it, I thought the teacher was saying, like, oh, I wanted to do some traveling, but I wish I knew that when I was younger. Or I wanted to be a traveler. Or how did he word it? If let's see what he says here. I think it shows up any second now. Makes it easier to plan out your life. No need to hurry, but if you find something in your teens, you may struggle later. Recently, I started to want to go on some relaxing trips of my own. That's what he said, okay. But that doesn't seem like... That seems like maybe you plan... Like, the way the teacher made it sound like, you know, you plan on... When you're younger, you plan on going on some trips, kind of thing. So that way you start saving money, and you plan stuff out, kind of thing. And maybe he never really did that, kind of thing. So now he doesn't have the money to go on any of these trips, kind of thing. But the way Mob took it almost seemed like, oh, being a traveler sounds like fun or whatever. Like, almost like he wanted to do that as a career path rather than just, like, taking a few vacations. But maybe that section was just kind of poorly translated to English. But anyway, very, very interesting. Very fun episode, though. I really love the ending with... because we had that tension in the last season where Mob wanted to take a break from the consultation office and stuff like that, and kind of get away from Reagan a little bit because Reagan was being a little too needy and everything. But we got past that, and I was a little worried, like, I hope we don't go back on that and have Reagan be like, oh no, you have to work here, which he kind of did. But when Mob confronted him in a serious manner and was like, I don't know if I really want to work here, I felt like Reagan handled it exceptionally well, and I really like them having that conversation, and him almost telling him that that the reason why he kept going with this business and not quit it was because Mob showed up. He was like 2 words away from saying it. It was great, but it's too bad that he didn't say it. But it was a really nice moment. I really enjoyed that. So, But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what Dimple's up to and what our characters get up to next with all these fun antics and everything. So yeah, that's going to be it from me, guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed. Check out my Patreon if you want to see more. You can see the rest of Season 3 if you're watching this on YouTube, as I mentioned in the beginning of the episode. The link to my Patreon is in the description, or it should be popping up on the screen. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you in my future reactions. Bye-bye.